What's up guys, Bloodshed here. Welcome to a Wizard Diablo Immortal Alpha feedback / demonstration video. A lot of people have been asking me how I feel about the classes. So I thought I would take some time and make a video, do a series on how the classes are looking right now, what I like and dislike about them, or offer any like feedback or changes on the class itself. Do remember this is alpha, so things can change. I will have timestamps and chapters in the description down below, so you can definitely skip ahead if you want to do so. If you could throw me a like on the video also, I would much appreciate it. These videos do take time, so let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the skills. Now I'm gonna go through all the skills on alpha. Wyatt Chang, I believe did confirm today on a Reddit AMA that we're gonna get 2 more skills once the level cap is increased to 60. On alpha right now it's only 45. So you have 2 primary attacks, electrocute and magic missile. When you build up enough of these, you get an ultimate ability. You can see right here on the screen what the damage is, and then full power is the ultimate. There's a little gauge that charges up, and when it's full, you can unleash the full power of your ult.
Let's try a new strategy.
Enhance electrocute for 12 seconds, allowing movement while attacking and increasing the number of secondary targets. And then ice missile, equip magic missile with frost for 12 seconds, increasing its damage and slowing the movement speed of affected enemies. So a lot of these can be useful in PvP or PvE if you're kiting high level mobs. It's kind of like in D3 when you're pushing at a high level, the enemies have so much health, so much and they have so much density that you're really kind of kiting them around, pulling big density packs and blowing them up. So either of these could be really good depending on the situation and content level. I don't know if there's going to be a 3rd primary attack, but it definitely opens the door to more of them. Arcane Wind, it's kind of like Wave of Force, but like in a cone. Unleash wind in a direction, and the longer you charge it, the more you knock back enemies. It looks like this. So you can move while you're charging it and everything. It's really nice ability, especially for like crowd control, maybe used for PvP, you know, any kind of knockback in PvP. And it does have synergy with other spells, which we'll get into later in the video. Black Hole, conjure a black hole for 3 seconds, which will pull in enemies and deal damage. So it's kind of like the black hole in D3. Again, very nice skill to synergize with spells. You know, crowd control in PvE is really nice. And then you get a damage pop on top of it. Disintegrate, channel a beam of pure energy in a direction, continually dealing 383 damage to all enemies caught in the beam, and they take 2% increased damage for 1.5 seconds, and it stacks up to 5 times. I was making a joke like you can use Disintegrate to debuff the mob, and then use like a meteor spell and make like a little baby bazooka build. So that's kind of fun, kind of cool. This is what Disintegrate looks like. These are all the default runes. Ice armor, surround yourself in a barrier of ice that lasts for 8 seconds, and it absorbs 3600 damage. When the barrier expires, it will shatter, doing AoE and inflicting chill, which would be really good for PvP because you get a little shield and you get crowd control, and then you can kind of turn the tides back on your enemies. Obviously for PvE, the ranged mobs are killer. Like the impalers still run rampant in Diablo, in Immortal, and in Diablo 3. So having any kind of survivability is really good. The next spell we have is Lightning Nova. Hurl 10 balls of lightning away from you in all directions, dealing damage as they pass outward and again to your new location. Limit 6 hits per target, and hits 2 and beyond the target deal only 30% damage. It's kind of nice. You can kind of shoot them out, and then you can kind of direct the damage in one, which again would be good for kiting in PvE. In PvE, it does work really well, and there's items. I would maybe use this. There's items that augment it, that increase your attack speed when you use Lightning Nova. I definitely would use it in PvE for like more speed runs too, like if I was doing like lower level content, things like that. Meteor, summon an immense meteor that plummets from the sky, dealing almost 1300 damage and stunning on impact for 3 seconds. And it scorches the ground. I love this ability a lot. It's you know, it's CCs, and it puts a dot on the battlefield and does like impact damage. So it's really nice overall. It's a cool spell. This is what it looks like. You can place it wherever. And boom. Meteor Shower was one of my favorite builds in Diablo 3, and I'm loving Meteor in this game as well. You can see the damage. with all the spells too, like even though they're targeted abilities, the game will auto-target the enemy closest to you. So if you're fighting like a single target or you know you're facing this elite, just tapping it real quick, it'll just auto-trigger, you know? So it's kind of nice. You don't have to aim all the time, only when you really want to place it somewhere specific. Ray of Frost, channel a beam of energy that pierces mobs and chills them. Using Ray of Frost consumes its energy, like so. This is great for like lining up in GRs. You can get them all in a line and then just AoE slow them and just burn them, slow burn them down, right? Kite them down hallways and keep slow burning them. Scorch, launch a flaming orb that deals damage and knocks away enemies. So it knocks them back, and similar to Meteor, it leaves like a trail, like a fiery trail on the ground. Really cool. Especially again, if you're kiting, you're pulling them down a hallway and you light up the hallway, they're just gonna get torched, right? Or scorched. And finally on Alpha, we have Teleport. Teleport, maximum 3 charges. So you can kind of target wherever you wanna go. I guess I can't jump that direction, but there's 1, 2, and you can jump over obstacles too, which is nice. I wish the range was a little bit longer, but overall, it's decent movement speed skill. I like all the classes in Diablo Immortal. I think they're really fun to play and they have their own kind of feel and niche. But Wizard by far is my favorite class to play. It's really awesome how the spells work together, and it adds a new level of complexity. You're kind of not only thinking about the placement of the mobs, what spells you use, you're also thinking about what order you use the spells to get maximum benefit. So the final ability we're going to talk about here is Ice Crystal. Conjure a giant ice crystal for 12 seconds. It chills enemies. When it expires, it does AoE. Pretty cool, right? So it's like a beacon of crowd control. But what you can do is you can bounce the beam off of it and it targets like a massive AoE to all enemies. And it does so with Disintegrate as well. So it works with both spells. Let me show you. You drop Ice Crystal, it's going to slow them down anyway, and then you bank shot the beam off. So you can see it has like this super cool interaction, and you can use it with Disintegrate like we talked about. It's a sick AoE, and then you can manually click on the crystal and explode it whenever you want. You don't have to wait for the timer either. Anybody that watches Wizard gameplay will probably see people doing this combo. It's like the first combo you get, and it's a doozy. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's super satisfying to look at. And you know, you can choose to maybe bank it through the enemy, and then it bounces back through the crystal through the elite. I mean, there's a lot of weird synergies you can do with it. Another combo you can do is use Scorch and then use Arcane Wind to turn it into like a firestorm. So remember, Scorch leaves the fire thing on the battlefield, and then the Arcane Wind Firestorm does bonus damage because it's kind of blowing the fire on the ground. So you can see, you're like, wait, there's so many things that they can add with this mechanic. It's really awesome. If there's any combos you guys come up with, let me know in the comments below, as I haven't had a chance to check everything. But yeah, you can do normal combos. Like you can, like I said earlier, you can group them up with Black Hole, right? And then use Meteor to drop. Now they're grouped up, and you got this big Meteor hit, and they're basically just gonna get destroyed. They're gonna get stunned from the Meteor, and then they're just burning away in the fire. So they're stunned, burning, and they're taking double damage from everything. It's pretty cool, pretty sick wombo combo there. Some legendaries take that spell that you know so much, like Scorch, and completely change it. I have a legendary that turns Scorch into everyone's favorite Frozen Orb right here. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's a legendary helmet that turns that Scorch spell into a completely different spell. It's a basically Frozen Orb Wiz, right? It's really awesome for nice AoE. I thought it would be cool if they add a synergy if you use Meteor and use an ability like, say, Frozen Orb, and then it would like scatter all the Meteor shards into AoE, so then you have like the Meteor shards shooting out across the screen. You know, they can literally sit here and think of cool interactions with all the spells, and this is really the reason why I like Wizard the most, is because it has me thinking of an extra layer of complexity, which is really fun and really in-depth for a mobile game, you know? And I guess because it opens the door for more combos, there's more spells coming, and it just opens the door for more cool things like that. I have a legendary also that turns that ice armor that we talked about into like a lightning shield. I think it's believed for 6 to 8 seconds, and then it gives me like a little conduit effect, like lightning armor. Right, so if you want to do more DPS versus more like, you know, survivability, or crowd control. How about while black hole's active, electrocute causes like a lightning, like a rain cloud, like a lightning storm around the area, and does like this weird like cloud lightning storm AoE. I mean, anything. A lightning hydra spawns, a lightning snake shoots out. I don't know, man. Just cool shit like that. You know, you can add little combos. Let's take what we learned and all the skills, and let's just do an Elder Rift together. That way you guys can kind of see what it's like to progress here. Try to get everything together, do some big wombo combos, especially when you're doing like speed runs or whatever, or faster runs. Fast for Immortal anyway. Group them up. I can Ray of Frost often because I have a legendary gem that increased the channeling time on on channeling skills. So it increases your channel time by like 15% at rank 1. And then you can run Ray of Frost and Disintegrate and run like a full channeling build. You never even have to use your generator. Actually, I find a lot of time my basic ability or generator, primary ability, this one right here, a lot of time I feel like I don't even use it because Wizard has so many spells to cast. I feel like just preoccupied getting the enemies together and dropping those big combos on them. Let's start with Ice Crystal here. I'm gonna actually manually cast it. Ooh, almost got caught. I'm in trouble. I'm gonna drop a Black Hole and then use Ray of Frost. Lots of CC, especially at high level. I noticed as I was pushing farther and farther, the crowd control was basically what was keeping me alive. A little sloppy, but hey, we survived. That's all that matters, right? Live to fight another day. Let's look for another big density pack. Oh, yellow here. Oh, Waller? Uh-oh. Embarrassing. Okay, Black Hole. Throw that Frozen Orb and then use Beam. Nice. Beam's charging. Crystal. I'm on Hell 1 also right now. That would be like the introductory to Torments. Look at that. Nice Ice Crystal. Man, that's satisfying.
Heal me.
Frozen Orb. Use a little bit of generator action. Nevelistus, I'm sorry. All those progress corps. Forgive me, Nev.
I expected an actual challenge.
Okay, I think we have some back here. Blue pack. This time I'm gonna go Black Hole into Ice Crystal. And then fling out a Frozen Orb. Go back to... Yeah, I mean, like, they never had a chance, right? I noticed at higher levels too, like, it's the range mobs that are gonna get you. So if I can find a way to sustain with Wizard or that Ice Barrier would be really good. Things like that. Group them up. Nuke them. Start a Frozen Orb. Just crushing it. I'm gonna pick this up. I think I see another blue. Yeah, the blues, I mean, just give so much progression. Like, I always go for them. If you can get density on top of that, especially with like big area damage procs or big AoE procs. Oh, here's a big one. All right. Black Hole pulls them in, and then the Ice Crystal slows them. So they really, the melee mobs just get shreked. Yeah. Good night. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Did I leave this back here?
Wondrous.
You got to pick up those XP globes. Oh, Pylon. Pylon seemed to be progression based also, just like in D3. RG. Hello. Maybe I get my... No, it's probably not enough time to get my ultimate. Well, it's charging pretty quick. Maybe I'll build up my ult just to show you guys. Hopefully we don't kill it. It's getting closer. But he's also dying really quick, so let's stick it out. Let's attack these dudes. Little black hole. They're like just diving in front of him too. Okay, so here we go. Here's our ultimate. So it turns magic missile into like ice.
Let the ice flow.
And it chills. Nice. The ultimates are cool, man. It's just another thing to think about in the background. And they're not like overpowered from what I can tell. They're just like nice to have. More synergy. More things to think about. For feedback on Wizard, man, Wizard needs movement speed. That after you teleport, you should have like movement speed for a few seconds. There's a passive in Diablo 3 that does that, and it helps a little bit. You know, just for maybe a little bit. Or I would add movement speed across the board to all characters. Maybe put it in the Paragon. Just maybe every Paragon point you get 0.001 movement speed, and then over time you'll start to get more and more, and it'll grow with your character. Because sometimes it does feel really slow to get around. When you're first playing, you don't notice it because you're just having fun. But once you start farming Paragon, it starts to become a little bit of a drag. I would add more item synergies with Wizard. I would just keep going at it. But again, I wouldn't make them too broken. I would just make it like a little bonus. Like maybe you get a stun or crowd control. Or like the elemental type. Maybe it pulls enemy in or pushes enemies or puts them in a line or traps them. You know, when you manually trigger Ice Crystal, because you can manually explode it. When you manually trigger Ice Crystal, it teleports you to the location when you trigger it. Keep it fun, but not overpowered. And I'm really curious what the other two spells are. I would definitely build around them. I don't think it's going to be Hydra because there is an enchantment in the game where you can get Hydra. So, but it could be still. We could have multi-Hydras, I suppose. So yeah, just keep it fun and just don't make it so strong. So that's the only thing that we pick. But I think overall we definitely need movement speed for Wizard and maybe some kind of sustain. Maybe have, if there's not, I haven't had a chance to look at all the legendaries. So there might be like a regen or a health on kill mechanic or something like that for Wizard. Maybe ice armor regenerates life. There's a lot of things you could do, but overall this class is so good. It's really hard to even add to it until I get to see all the abilities and everything. This is really, really fun, and I hope it looks fun to you guys because it's really fun to play. Combat wise, it's smooth, everything flows together. Whether you want to do these self-imposed combos or you want to do your own types of combos, it's really up to you, and it gives you a lot of freedom, and I like that. There's a legendary that allows the Frozen Orb or just the Scourge to pull enemies in a straight line, and that pulls them like into the fire. So there's lots of like do your own combos, try out these combos, and yeah, the combat is great with Wiz, and it's not too intensive, and yeah, they did a good job with it. Anyway, I hope this gave you an insight of what Wizard's like in Diablo Immortal, what it's shaping up to be, what it could be. Again, if you could throw me a like on the video, I'd appreciate it. It helps the YouTube algorithm tremendously. And we have timestamps, everything in the description. Let me know what class you want me to do next. I'm currently have almost all of them to max level now. I've been blasting, trying to get them all to max and really get to thoroughly test everything. So let me know in the comments below right there. We have a Discord group. There's Discord links in the description. I have merchandise, Twitch subs can support the channel, pretty much everything. But that's going to be all for me today. This is Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.